maybe out joyriding and stole a car and then decided to put it in this construction area.
The foreman calls the police to report the unusual discovery.
The police officer that gets there sees the burning, smells the gasoline, and sees a purse on the floorboard on the passenger side.
The officer also sees a pair of women's shoes. He turns off the ignition. Circling the car, he opens the trunk. And what he finds is shocking. It's the dead body of a female, approximately 30 years old. A murder victim found in the trunk of a car brings the head of the Major Crimes Unit, Lieutenant Joe Kenda, to the scene.
At this moment, I'm looking at this car, I see her in it. Somebody killed her, no question of homicide. She had pantyhose tightly wrapped around her neck, face is purple and distorted from the pressure of ligature strangulation. Who did you make so mad that they had to do this to you? Because you made somebody real mad. It's a kill that's more than a murder. To kill is not enough. I want to punish you. I want to feel you die. Very, very personal. And very, very angry. That tells me whoever is responsible for this, my opinion, knows this woman and knows her well. And she said or did something that made this person absolutely enraged.
Lieutenant Kenda studies the scene and tries to make sense of what had happened.
I'm looking around at the tire tracks coming off the road. It's a 90-degree angle to this piece of equipment. And none of it makes any sense to me at all. How did this get here? And how come nobody got out of it? Because there's no footprints here that were unaccounted for. So how did this car manage to wander over here at idle speed and be in gear and dink into this piece of equipment and have this dead woman in the trunk? A pure mystery. It's like none of it made sense. I need to know more, and I need to know it right away.
Arson investigators examine the burn damage.
The burn pattern on the seats indicated the use of an accelerant, in this case gasoline.
The forensic unit also examines the car for clues. On the driver's side floorboard is a large brick.
Somebody put it there for a reason. We don't know what that reason is. But we know when you buy a Thunderbird, you don't get a brick as a extra part. It looked as if someone was trying to use the brick to press down on the accelerator to make the car drive into the machinery. Somebody's trying to destroy this car and her with it. Maybe to prevent it from being discovered as a murder. But somebody wanted this car to go away. They just didn't know how.
The purse found inside the car contains a driver's license, identifying the victim as 28-year-old Lourdes Riddle. A check on the vehicle shows that it's registered to her husband, Mark Riddle. Mark is a member of the Air Force currently working at NORAD, a top-secret military complex located underneath Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado Springs.
I wondered if this murder had anything to do with Mark's work. This case was getting more interesting by the minute.
While Kenda continues processing the crime scene, 2 U.S. Air Force investigators show up and announce they are taking charge.
When I'm at a crime scene, I'm in charge of it. I own it, even if it's your house. Not right now, it isn't. It's my house. How dare you walk into my crime scene? Who the hell are you?
But the Air Force investigators throw Kenda a curveball. They already have Mark Riddle in custody.
I was absolutely shocked when they said they had the husband at their office on Peterson. Why do you have the husband at your office? And when he looked at me and said, it's obvious, it's her husband. Well, it's not obvious to me.
Husbands and boyfriends are typically the first suspected in any murder investigation. But Lieutenant Kenda fears that this murder case has been tainted because of the immediate arrest.
I make my own mistakes in murder cases, but I really get upset when somebody makes them for me. We have an outside agency that has no jurisdiction, that has their hands on Mark Riddle. What if they advise him of his rights and he wants a lawyer? And all I want to do is talk to him. I don't want to accuse him of anything. But their actions could prevent me from doing that, which could really damage this case.
Lieutenant Kenda sets out to interview Mark Riddle. He wants to see for himself why Lourdes' husband is such a good suspect.
Well, we want to question Mark, of course, but we certainly don't want to accuse him of anything, because we have no idea what happened here. And they certainly didn't either.
It was very, very confusing to me. I didn't know what had happened. They told me that there was an incident that had occurred concerning my car that Lourdes and I had. And that's all they told me.
I say, Mark, I want to advise you of your rights before we go any further, so I give him his rights under Miranda. He waives. Good. Now I want to hit him with something hard to see how he reacts. So I say, Mark, you do realize your wife is never coming home.
After police find Lourdes Riddle strangled to death in the trunk of her car, Lieutenant Joe Kenda interrogates her husband, Air Force Tech Sergeant Mark Riddle.
In the Riddle case, the facts are telling me very close, very personal, very angry. Mark is a consideration. He's just a consideration. He's the husband. He is close. He's on the list. Who else could be on this list? I don't yet know. The only thing I know for sure is somebody who knew her and knew her well did this.
At that point, they told me that that my wife was found in our car on Fountain Boulevard, Colorado Springs, and that she was deceased. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. I think I was just in shock that this had happened to her.
Mark says Lourdes was born in the Philippines, but that the two met while in Florida. Each had a child from a previous relationship.
She was very outgoing, very energetic, and a very likable person. She was very talented with singing, and she was a good performer, actually.
She liked to play bingo, she liked to eat, and she liked to cook. She just seemed like a happy person who enjoyed life. The people that I've talked to who knew her well, knew her when she was alive, they loved her. Even now, talking to them about it, they have strong feelings about her loss, that it was a loss, that she was a lively person that was you would like to have in a room.
They're married for 9 years when we find Lourdes Riddle in the 5400 block of Fountain Boulevard. So they're a family. But the question becomes, what kind of family?
Police ask Mark about the state of his marriage and learn that there's trouble in paradise.
Mark admitted that he knew his wife was seeing other men and possibly slept with other men.
It's something that he's always sort of known, but it's become more obvious to him lately. They've had discussions about it, he and Lourdes. Mark says he speaks to Lourdes about it, says he wants this behavior to stop. Lourdes promises him she will stop, that she will stop seeing and meeting other men. Mark knows that she's not stopping. They are not happily married. No question about that. The question is Mark unhappy enough to end his wife's life, as opposed to just their marriage?
Police know adultery is always a good motive. They grill Mark regarding his activities the night of his wife's murder.
Mark said the last time he saw his wife was on the previous morning when she dropped him off at work at NORAD. He said he caught a ride home with a coworker, but when he arrived home, she wasn't there.
Mark says that he spent the entire night at home and never left the house.
Mark Riddle did not have an alibi, per se, for the hours thought to be the time between last seen alive and dead. Many people don't. But nothing about him triggered any of my instincts.
I believe that they suspected that I might be involved with it because they kept on asking me questions about it. I was very frustrated because I wanted to get home to the children and tell them about this situation. And I said, you know, if you guys are really interested in me, well, give me a daggone lie detector test. Let's get over with this. And so they did.
During the polygraph, Lieutenant Kenda pays close attention to Mark's body language.
Mark's body language is very strong and very truthful in its appearance. He makes good eye contact. He doesn't fidget. His eyes are not in motion around the room. He's not looking down to the right or up to the left or any of the things you do when you're trying to remember or you're trying to lie. He is very straightforward. Body language, there's no indicators to me that he's not being truthful with him.
Mark is released from custody, but agrees to let investigators search his home.
They were looking for what I understood was hosiery. They thought that that was what she was killed with.
We found 2 packages of pantyhose in the bedroom where Mark and Lourdes sleep. One of the packages had a pair of pantyhose missing.
But the packages do not appear to have been opened in a hurry.
Those packages are neatly placed there, not ripped apart, not destroyed. There's no evidence of a struggle. There's 2 kids in the house. Mark is just fine. This isn't it. This is not it. And I never thought it was.
With Mark Riddle no longer a suspect, investigators turn their focus on Lourdes. Who are her friends? Where does she spend her time? What was she doing on the night she died?
We learn who Lourdes' friends are from information in her house. She has a phone book that contains numbers of women who are from the Philippines.
Lourdes' friends tell investigators that she liked to meet other men from the Philippines. She was known to frequent nightclubs popular with Filipino-American soldiers.
Lourdes Riddle was involved in the nightlife. She liked to party. She liked to dance and go to nightclubs. Maybe she put herself in positions where she maybe was around people that may have wanted to do her harm.
Lourdes went to a number of different clubs, not just the ones on post, but the ones in town as well. Any place that was frequented by people her age who were from the Philippines, which is a lot of places. The trouble you have when you try to talk to people about bar customers, when they're a common customer, they all know her, but she's in there so much, they can't tell you what night she was in there. So it's very, very difficult to put her in a particular place, even though we know where she goes.
Interviews with Lourdes' neighbors further deepen the mystery surrounding her life.
The neighbors are aware that this woman comes and goes all the time. She's often wearing high heels and short skirts, fully made up, and so on. They think that she just is a very busy lady. They don't seem to know much about her, but they know that she comes and goes at odd times.
The media picks up on the investigation. They dub the unknown assailant the Pantyhose Strangler.
Whenever there is something that involves sex or maybe affairs, then it does become more juicy for the media and just for the public to find out. The public becomes more interested because there are these torrid sort of details that start coming out.
There's more to this murder than just sex. Lourdes has been living a secret life and met someone who wanted her dead. I intend to find out what that secret is.
In March 1985, Lieutenant Joe Kenda investigates one of the strangest cases of his career. Someone 31-year-old Lourdes Riddle and then tried to make it look like she died in a car accident. But why? Did it have to do with her husband Mark's work at a secret military base? Or was her death tied to her secrets?
I'm thinking this still is a personal crime. It's not a sex crime. It's a personal crime. This is somebody really thought this over and decided she needed to die. I still don't have a clue on what that is.
The media has labeled the killer the pantyhose strangler. News coverage has led to a promising tip from a newspaper delivery woman.
She said that she was driving her newspaper vehicle out in that area on that morning, the morning that Lourdes Riddle was found, and she sees a black male, African-American male, across Fountain Boulevard. She was so startled by him appearing, she almost hit him with a car. Had to stop her car to keep from hitting him. He looked at her and then continued to run off.
She thought he was very large, 6'6" to 6'8". Other than that, she couldn't tell us anything.
The witness saw this man less than a block from where Lourdes's body was discovered.
We did immediately go to Lourdes's friends and say, hey, is there any possibility that Lourdes would have dated an African American? Absolutely not. She would not do that. If she dates anyone, he has to be from the Philippine Islands, or she would not talk to him. So it eliminates an African American from her dating.
If the person seen leaving the crime scene doesn't date Lourdes, then just what is their connection? If there's a connection at all.
Who's this guy? This witness says he's connected to the car, but her friends say he's not connected to her. So we need more information.
Investigators contact Lourdes's mother for any information about her boyfriends. And they get a surprise. She tells detectives that her daughter had recently received threats against her life.
When they pressed Lourdes Riddle's mother for details, do you have any names of who might have threatened your daughter? The mother didn't know or couldn't remember names, just knew that her daughter was frightened and felt that she'd been threatened by more than one person. My thought, the minute I got that information, was, what is Lourdes Riddle doing that would have caused more than one person to want to threaten her? There's something about this we don't know. There's some activity this victim is involved in, and we don't know what it is.
Investigators also learned that Lourdes recently took trips to San Francisco and Las Vegas, alone.
When we examined Lourdes's phone records, we found phone numbers of friends and associates in San Francisco. There were no numbers of any associates in Las Vegas, but there were a number of other phone numbers of people from all over the United States that she knew, most of whom were Filipino. All of it adds up to mysterious activities on the part of the victim, Lourdes Riddle. What exactly is it that you've been up to? What are you doing? You're not just a mom with 2 kids living on an Air Force base. You're flying around the country. You're calling your mother in Tennessee, telling her that there are men that have threatened you. Your husband says you date other men, but you're trying to give this up or willing or to stop doing this. What exactly is going on here with you? Because we need to know that.
Police believe Lourdes was keeping secrets, but perhaps not from everybody. Detectives turn their attention to the nightclubs that she frequented.
Bar people have a habit. Their habit is that they're pretty good at deciding who's with who and what people are up to and what's going on. So there's always a source of rumors in bars. And there's always an element of truth to those rumors. So my investigators find at the Enlisted Men's Club at Fort Carson particularly, rumors that Lourdes has some kind of thing going with these people. They don't think it's legal. They think she might be extorting money from some of these individuals. Not sure how, not sure what. Vague rumors. No pin down to these rumors. They're saying that they think somehow she hustles these guys for money.
Rumor has it that Lourdes draws these soldiers in like a Venus flytrap.
She would go around and sort of seek out Filipino soldiers because she herself was Filipino, and so that she felt a connection there and probably was able to make that connection with them. And she would have relationships with them and then try to extort money from them because she would say that she was pregnant and she was going to go to their commanding officers and so forth.
In the Filipino culture, it's a great honor to be a member of the United States military. If you get removed from the military, get kicked out, quit, whatever, then your family is going to disown you. You have brought great shame on them. So in a cultural sense, you're screwed. Lourdes confronts these males after she spends some time with them and tells them that either they have treated her badly in some way, or maybe she's pregnant as a result of being with them. And if they don't pay her a few $100s, then she will be forced to go see their commander and complain, and they will kick him out of the army, so someone would be afraid, maybe, and pay a small amount of money. If she's getting small amounts of money every so often, wouldn't raise any alarms with Mark, wouldn't raise any alarms with anyone. So she could probably do that and no one would be the wiser.
Accusations of blackmail add an entirely new dimension to this case, and may be the key to solving it. While investigating these rumors, detectives turn up a new name.
Nolasco de Padua. He, of course, is from the Philippines. He's not a black male, so he can't be the guy going over in the car. He's 5'8", not 6'8". So, okay, he's not the guy at the car. So at that point in this investigation, he's no different than anybody else that she may be spending a lot of time with. We start checking around about people that know Nolasco, and they tell us that Nolly has this friend. His friend is black, his friend is huge, and everybody kind of stays away from him because they're afraid of him. And who would that be? Well, that's this guy named Brian Hawkins, private first class United States Army. He's very tight with Nolly. Well, no. Now we have something that was interesting, now has become promising.
The ongoing investigation continues to draw interest from the media.
When her husband is arrested, or at least brought in as a suspect to be questioned, I think a lot of people then start thinking, well, this seems like it might be an open and shut case, that it isn't until later on that the police then say the husband's not a suspect anymore, and we're looking at it in a lot of different ways based on her background and so forth. And the information then begins to start coming out and starts developing into being more of maybe a homicide that has more to it than meets the eye.
One thing's for sure, the victim was playing a dangerous game, and Kenda believes it backfired.
Let the facts give me a theory. Let what I know lead me to what I think might have happened, as opposed to the other way around. And those facts are working nicely right now. Things are starting to add up to me a little bit. We're starting to bubble here. We have the right soup, maybe. Somewhere in that circle of friends, or somewhere in that circle of mystery, somebody killed her.
As the Lourdes Riddle murder investigation moves into its second week, the trail leads detectives into a maze of rumors and innuendos.
The way I would describe her friends was maybe she was messing around with the wrong group, because there are good Filipinos. If you get with the right people, I don't care what race they are, and they do the right thing, you're not going to be led down the wrong path.
It was such a strange situation where, at first police thought maybe it was a car accident, and then you find out that somebody put a brick on the accelerator and that it was totally set up and everything. It's kind of like, wow, is that sort of Murder, She Wrote, or some, CSI or show that we're watching on TV that is a murder mystery. I think that adds to the interest in the community.
Lourdes's friends suggest she has been spending time with an army soldier named Nolly de Padua. They also say Nolly has a friend named Brian Hawkins, a tall black man who fits the description of someone seen running from the crime scene.
I'm thinking whoever killed Lourdes might have had a vendetta against her. This murder was personal, and if she's been running scams on people, maybe one of them wanted revenge.
Detectives bring Brian Hawkins down to the police station for questioning.
The initial part of that is, do you know a guy named Nolasco de Padua? Well, of course he does, They call him Nolly. Do you call him Nolly? Yes, I do. Back and forth, we establish a relationship between the two. Do you know a woman named Lourdes Riddle? Yeah, I know her. Okay, how do you know her? Well, she's in a club all the time, and Nolly dances with her, so on and so forth. What do you know about her death? Oh, I don't know nothing about that. Brian is, as usual, knows nothing.
Lieutenant Kenda doesn't believe Hawkins. He raises the ante by bringing up the fact that there is a witness.
People notice things, and they notice you. Remember that lady that almost ran you over? Oh my, Brian. Now that really makes his wheels turn. But we're playing a game with him. I can't promise him things. I can't threaten him. That's against the rules. But I can lie to him, and I'm very good at that. So now we're going to lie, and we're going to say, Brian, we have you by the throat, and see what he does. Now, Brian is starting to come unstuck. We have an advantage. Brian's not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he is upset, and he's getting more so, and that's perfect.
Hawkins starts squirming in his seat. It does not go unnoticed by the veteran detective.
Everything about his body language tells me he's lying through his teeth. He won't keep or maintain eye contact. He's looking up and to the left when he's trying to talk to me. He can't remember any consistencies at all. He changes his answers routinely. He is a nervous wreck. His foot is bouncing on the floor because he's running that one leg and it won't stop. Everything about this guy, he is a classic case of a liar. Classic. And I tell him that, Brian, you are lying through your teeth.
But Kenda needs proof. He needs a confession.
I'm going to prove to you you're lying. You've heard of a polygraph, haven't you, Brian? You take advantage of a guy like Brian. You know what a polygraph is, don't you? Scientific instrument, Brian. Oh, man. Designed by the government. Oh, I've heard of those. Oh, yeah, I've heard of those. Oh, you've heard of those. Good. Now, what have you done? You planted a seed in his head. This is a machine, a very efficient scientific machine that's going to tell us what happened here. Really? But he thinks it is. Close enough for me. He also thinks it's going to let him walk away because he's going to beat this machine too, because obviously he's beat me.
Hawkins takes the polygraph test. And the needle says it all.
He bombs it. There's a big surprise. Then you have another one of his legs kicked out from under him. Another one of his strands of hope here. Another one of his lifelines just went away. So you've got him in maximum pressure. And then you tell him, Brian, there's a couple ways we could go with this, because I don't think you killed her, but I think I can probably prove you did. Now, do you want to do that? Or do you think you want to tell me what really happened here? Because one way or the other, you're not walking out of here. Brian starts to bawl and tells us what happened. He says that Nolly tells him that Lourdes wanted money from him.
Lourdes claims she's pregnant, and if he doesn't give her any money, she's going to contact his commander, and they're going to throw him out of the army, and he will be disowned by his family. Brian said that Nolly told him that she wanted $1,000.
But Brian says that Nolly refused to pay Lourdes.
strangled her with her pantyhose and put her in the trunk of her car. But he's got a plan, and Brian's a big part of that plan.
Brian is supposed to drive this car out to Fountain Boulevard, where all the construction equipment is. He's supposed to throw gasoline all over the seats. Take her out of the trunk, put her behind the wheel, soak her down in gas, take this brick, put it on the gas. It'll drive into that equipment at 70 or 80 miles an hour and it'll explode and burn. And the police will think it's an accident. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be on guard duty. I'm going to have an absolute airtight alibi. I'm going to be on guard duty for Carson.
The way Brian tells it, Nolly thinks he's covered all his bases.
And I'm thinking, you got to be the dumbest guy on the planet. Maybe on 3 or 4 planets. So I take him back through this. So you were told to do these things. Yeah. When did you do them? Well, I forgot some things. Yeah, no kidding. Taking her out of the trunk, that was a big one, huh, Brian? Forgot the brick. Forgot all that. And I'm thinking, what a goof, you know? If you're going to enlist the aid of somebody in a murder, let's pick somebody with an IQ greater than 12 or so. These are not criminal masterminds. They're a couple of blockheads. That's who get involved in these things. Blockheads who honestly believe this car is going to explode because they saw it in the movies. And movies are reality to them. But it makes sense to me. So I'm listening to him because now I think he's telling me the truth.
Investigators place Brian Hawkins under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder. But any good feeling Kenda has is about to be turned upside down.
I've got one guy on the hook, but this is a 2-person job. And the other guy is going to be a lot harder to put away.
After Brian Hawkins admits conspiring to help dispose of Lourdes Riddle's body, an arrest warrant is issued for Nolly de Padua. They track him to his apartment complex.
My favorite time to arrest people is 4:30 in the morning. If you work, you haven't left yet. If you've been out partying, you're probably home by now. 4:30 works. So I knocked on his door like I was one of his friends. Hey, Nolly. And he says, hey, yeah, from the other side, because he thinks I'm one of his friends. He doesn't have a peephole in his door, so he opens it. Well, he sees it's us. He tries to slam the door on me, and I push him inside, push him up against the wall. He's got a spring-loaded front door, and it closes. My men are locked out. I'm in here alone with Nolly. He is screaming at me in Filipino. I have no idea what he's saying, but I've got him pinned against the wall.
Kenda's inside the apartment, but the rest of the team is locked outside. No one knew what was happening to Lieutenant Kenda.
I hear movement behind me, and I'm thinking, uh-oh. I'm in here, and we're not alone. Have you ever been so scared you can't talk? You ever been so scared you've had a metal taste in your mouth? I have. You ever been so scared that time stops? You can hear yourself breathing? I've done that too. Yeah, I get scared. But moving through that fear is the difference of being able to do your job. You take the fear and you move through it.
Kenda pins Nolly against the wall while he slowly turns around. His heart is racing. There's something hiding in the shadows.
But I looked over my shoulder, and it was a dog. He didn't bark. He didn't do anything. He just stood there. I relaxed. The dog's not going to shoot me. But that first instinct when you hear that noise, oh, now you're exposed. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. No matter how much they train you, no matter how much you train, somebody wants you, they're going to have you.
The officers were eventually able to kick in the door, rush in, and subdue Nolly.
Nolly is cuffed and placed under arrest. News of the arrest comes as a relief to Mark Riddle.
We were happy, very, very, very happy that these idiots, these perpetrators, animals, were caught, and that we could get on with our life. It was better. There was no more suspecting of me to have anything to do with that at all, and I was vindicated.
Back at the police station, Nolly denies any involvement in Lourdes's murder.
He's like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know her. I haven't seen her in a long time. Back and forth and so on. He's a wreck. Won't make eye contact. Changes his story every 10 words.
As the interrogation continues, however, Nolly starts to crack.
We'd already told him that Hawkins had given all the details we needed. We convinced him we had other details we didn't even have. When Nolly found out what Brian had actually done, as opposed to what he was told to do, I think Nolly realized it's over. It's over. Brian screwed up that plan so badly that we're not going to get out of this. He was right. He's defeated, completely defeated.
Nolly admits that he initially met Lourdes several weeks earlier at the Enlisted Men's Club on Fort Carson. He says that they had had sex. She later claimed to be pregnant and wanted him to give her $1,000 for an abortion.
He's annoyed by that, and because he's resisting paying, Lourdes decides to up the ante. She takes his army dress uniform out of his closet, takes it away.
Nolly said that Lourdes stole his dress uniform, held it for ransom, and if he didn't pay up, she was going to burn it.
That's Nolly's identity, that dress uniform. And I think that tripped his trigger. That uniform meant everything to him. And now she's going to destroy that? No, she's not. He wants to meet her because he wants that uniform back.
Lourdes shows up, but without the uniform. Nolly becomes enraged.
Nolly has completely lost it. He's going to solve this problem. He's going to save his uniform and save his money by getting rid of this woman.
Nolly snaps. He takes out a pair of pantyhose and attacks Lourdes from behind.
Nolly wraps that pantyhose to the bone and strangles her until he knows she's dead. Then he carries her and puts her in the trunk of her own car, drives back to his apartment, calls his friend Brian. I gotta get rid of this dead girl, and you need to help me. Nolly was upset. He wasn't remorseful. He was upset about getting caught, not remorseful about killing Lourdes Riddle. Lourdes Riddle obviously is a participant in her own death. There's no question about that. Lourdes's behavior caused this event to take place. That's true. However, no one deserves to die. No one.
In exchange for his testimony, Brian Hawkins' accessory charge is dismissed. On December 12, 1985, 9 months after killing Lourdes Riddle, Nolly de Padua pleads guilty to second-degree murder. He is sentenced to 14 years, but serves only 7.
He is a scumbag. He took Jackie and Mark's mother away from them. He didn't really care about how it would affect anybody. I mean, if I was king for a day, I would say that he should have been convicted of first-degree murder and spent the rest of his life in jail instead of just going to jail for 14 years and then getting out after 7.
When you strangle somebody, it doesn't happen quickly. It's like drowning, except slower. If somebody were to do that to somebody that you loved, and then they served amount of time that, let's say 7, let's say 10 years, and you were aware that these people are no longer in jail, I mean, that's clearly not justice.
She just had some problems, you know. I think there's nobody here in this world that's perfect, you know, and it's just sad that this whole thing had happened.
You don't ever lose sight of the fact that a woman has been murdered, and that she has a family, and that she's a daughter and a mother and a wife.
She definitely was doing things that I know were potentially putting her at risk, and obviously they were. Even though somebody is bad, it doesn't necessarily mean that whoever did it was somehow justified in what they did, or that a person was how they lived. I don't want anybody to come back and say the words that, oh, she just got what she deserved. To me, that's not fair.
If you kill, then I'm going to come looking for you, and I'm going to find you. And if we have to prosecute you through the sheriff's department or through the CIA or through whoever, I don't care. I'm going to find you. You've made a decision to take a life. Can't do that. Can't do that. No. And I'm going to pursue you for that. Does it matter how important I think it is? They all are.